Hi, I'm Heather Greenshields and I'm here to talk about the real cost of recycling. We're going to kind of go over like the supply and demand of recycling and also shipping to your home and how that's actually costing the environment and the impacts and all the implications with that. Also, we're going to go over China's policy change, a few ways that everyone has come up with adapting new alternatives to reduce waste. So here we go. Supply and demand. We have home delivery, which is in high demand right now, and then that also causes more shipped materials. So what happens is instead of going from point A to point B, it now has 4 different points, if not more, going from one warehouse to a truck, to a different truck, to get shipped to you. And that causes more diesel fuel, biofuel, greenhouse gas emissions, all of the above you can think of are causing more issues for our environment. So also recycling has plummeted over the years. So reduce, they always say reduced, recycle, reuse, and reduce is always the first one, right? So we always want to reduce what we're doing, and Amazon has actually had a few things come up about how to reduce your waste. If you order a lot, bring your orders to like once a week. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but is that really saving that much when you think about it? But according to the Environment Protection Agency in 2016, the influx was they recycled 66.4 million tons of waste, 23 million tons of composted, was composted, 33.1 million tons was combusted and burned, and then 136 million tons of garbage and plastic and materials were put in a landfill. So we definitely need to reduce what we're doing here. With Amazon, they also decided to have the option when you check out that you can put it inside a box to hide what it is. And since they gave the option where you can check no, they say they have overall factored that they've saved 500 million shipping boxes from being used from 2007 to 2017. Just from having that one little click, like it's fine, it can be shipped in the box that it comes in, doesn't matter. I actually just had this happen on Prime Day. I ordered something and I was like, do I really need another box inside of a box? And yeah, people might see that I got a new blender, but right, it doesn't matter. So I unchecked it and saved a box, right? But you should definitely care because like many people think you can always recycle, but we're actually going to get into why China's policy has changed that a million times over. So less people are recycling, and according to Elizabeth Wise, cardboard box recycling took a turn for the worse during the holiday shipping season in 2016. Usually waste collection centers are flooded. They get a huge influx of paper and cardboard, Christmas time, gifts, all that. Hanukkah too, all of those gifts. So in January 2017, they didn't even get more. They got less than usual. And it just kind of sparked like what is happening here. And so less people over time are actually recycling less, but we're using more. So let that sink in. This was from 2018. So the reason, though, some of this waste is going into landfills instead is China's policy. They recently changed their policy, and there's actually a study going on not going on, it's been published, sorry. According to Brooks, Wing, and Jambeck, the study is the Chinese import ban and its impact on global waste trade. So this policy overall in this article said that China has restricted their imports. So if there is any mixed material, such as a magazine, then you're not allowed to recycle that now because the ink and all the other things involved in it, they're not going to take it anymore. And they haven't been taking many plastics at all, let alone recycling them. Waste management companies are coming to the conclusion that there's no longer a market for recycling. This has led to many places closing, such as in my paper. They interviewed plenty of people who talked about how plants are closing. In California, they have recycle plants that are stacked up warehouses full of paper with nowhere to go, and it's actually a fire risk in the state of California. And how they've had to take trucks literally from the recycling facility to the landfill, even though it's all recycled materials, because of this Chinese import ban. So now Mississippians have two choices, and the choice is to raise the cost of recycling, so the people then are burdened with the cost of the recycling, because these recycling facilities are no longer able to burden the cost. It's costing them to recycle, and if you're doing it for free or if you're doing it for a flat rate through your city, then it's costing you more, and if you want to keep that, they're going to have to raise the rates. The other thing is they're just not going to do it any longer. So those are our two options right now, and it's pretty devastating to hear that. There are some great new ways to reduce, though. I did find lots of interesting things. You can always reuse containers. I actually just used, I made pasta yesterday, and I had the pasta sauce jar, and I reused the jar for my leftover pasta, because why not? It already had the sauce in it, and I just threw the noodles in with it and put it in the fridge, and now I can have that and reuse that for other things. Glass and metal are great to reuse, and they're they're easily sanitized. They stay nice and fresh, unlike plastic. Sometimes, especially with pasta, you get the weird film layer and it stains. There's also this really cool company called The Loop. However, it's not available in Michigan. It's more of New England area of the United States, but they have a zero waste policy in mind, and it's awesome. I would talk more about it, but I think I'm running out of time. And then we also have, according to Royce, in 2019, they had their students look for new ways to reduce and recycle things. So it was mainly for single-use plastics. So they came out with 3D printed straws from agar, which is from seaweed. And then they came out with hand-shaped bowls from mushrooms, because it's a thread-like substance that they can make bowl out of it. Then they also came out with black plastic fold-out containers. So instead of having styrofoam or plastic, this plastic can be sanitized and reused. And there's also been a few companies that if you bring it back, then you get points. So they have a little point system. You get free stuff when you bring them back with a certain amount. All of these are really awesome, and overall recycling should be our last resort, because we should always reduce and reuse before we decide to recycle. And many of the recycling may end up in a landfill, and we just need to change our habits. We talked about demand, recycling, policy changes, and new alternatives to single-use plastics. I just want to thank you for your time.